The Dark Knight from 2000 is 0 out of 10. Before I go any further, it's a 0 out of 10. It's as boring as M. Night Shyamalan's The Village and League in the Water, that also was another M. Night Shyamalan movie made. You know, that's actually too insulting to M. Night Shyamalan. Honestly, I thought those movies were better than The Dark Knight. I'm not saying I like them, I just far from it. I actually hate them. Okay, basically I'm trying to say that this is the worst part of the worst parts of The Village and League in the Water in terms of everything that's boring about those movies. In the opposite of engaging about those movies. The Dark Knight tops both of the movies. So it feels like if you really think that M. Night Shyamalan makes good movies, this will feel like an M. Night Shyamalan movie in a nutshell. Because you rather crucify yourself if you're a sane person than along with Jesus and his followers. Then watch The Dark Knight and like it. If you're sane or have someone that has common sense at all. If you actually enjoy The Dark Knight, then maybe something's wrong with you, and you might become growing some sort of brain tumor or cancer or something. This is the opposite of rational. Or the opposite of someone who has common sense is what you would be. So yeah, The Dark Knight is the best of both worlds when it tops the boring, dumb aspects of League in the Water and The Village. By being, like for example, shitty dialogue. People are not acting like actual humans. And doing your best to keep yourself awake even though you want to fall asleep. So basically all of M. Night Shyamalan's qualities. Are we sure he's not involved in any of the creative process of this movie? Because it sounds like he would. This sounds like something he would make. I'll give no one the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was just high or drunk off his ass when he was working on the creative decisions for this movie. And I was thinking, like, let's go with the least imaginative route and simplest route possible for making a Batman movie, a comic book movie, while making more grounded take on the character. Look, the first one wasn't exactly like gave me high standards for this one, but I expect that was going to be better, improvement in some way, considering the Jokers in this movie and a main villain of the movie. Considering there wasn't no main villain until the third act of the first movie from Batman Begins, and turns out it was a mispronounced version of Ra's al Ghul. Instead of Ra's, it's Raz. Why? I don't know. As far as I know, he wasn't called Raz until Batman Begins, but now he's called Raz. So, in the comics or in the cartoons, or even the video games. So, yeah. And The acting's just as common as quality acting as you get from the cast of The Last Airbender movie. That also is another M. Night Shyamalan movie made. Although, personally, I think the cast from The Last Airbender, in terms of quality of The Last Airbender movie from 2010, puts the cast to The Dark Knight to shame. In terms of quality, believable performances. Neither of these are good things. In terms of comments, this, in other words, they're saying all of these movies I referenced just suck, is what I'm trying to say. And Dark Knight, in some ways, tops all the crap by making it worse. If you want to write an essay of everything you shouldn't do in a movie, if you want to make a movie, or engage in story with the relatable characters that's complex, write everything down that The Dark Knight did and do the opposite of that. Of everything it's doing. Except for the main title and the score to the movie, because those are the only good things I'm giving it credit for. I would say the action's top-notch, but I can't really see the action's top-notch because seeing the film got converted into a different aspect ratio than one it was shot in. Maybe if the movie got released in the proper aspect ratio, in the IMAX aspect ratio, the one that was made for, making the film, I guess Chris Nolan filmed it in, and no one converted it into every shot being widescreen, or the film was shot in, the entire film was shot in IMAX, and that means the entire film got converted to from full screen to widescreen, as an edit in the top and bottom got cutted out. So, which wouldn't surprise me, because seeing that this has tampered with the film, converting the aspect ratio, because now the colors look like a fucking Saturday morning cartoon! A cheap Saturday morning cartoon. Like the Super Friends show. Yes, I'm actually seeing the Dark Knight color because of the aspect ratio got converted and cropped and edited and changed, in other words. Because of that, I couldn't help but notice that the color looks more cartoony and flashier than any of the Val Kilmer things. The name of the, well, I was going to say Val Kilmer, I meant to say Joel Schumacher Batman stuff, or any of the Adam West Batman stuff, or anything of the Super Friends show stuff that was a cartoon back in the day. Before my time was born. I mean, before I was born. Yeah. So, yeah. That's what this movie looks like. It looks brighter and flashier and sillier and stupid and more fictional than any of all those other colors of the things I referenced involving Batman and DC content. To this day, I think this is the worst Batman film that ever got converted from a different aspect ratio, because the reason why that's because the color looks so too bright and flashy. It looks like a fucking cartoon. And keep in mind, that's no one's supposed to tell a realistic, wanted to tell more realistic ground take on the Caped Crusader Batman. Now, I'm sure that these weren't the colors he actually chose once the people saw the final product. I'm sure the film looked much perfect, well made, and they looked like realistic colors before the film got converted from the aspect ratio. Now, the reason why I say that because for more muted colors, that can make stuff brighter and more cartoony looking. Whereas for more flashier, bright colors before it gets after it gets converted can, well, do the opposite outcome, make it more bright and dull looking. That's why every Marvel product, when it gets released internationally, looks the way it does. And so the reason why this one looks like more colorful, well, because this was probably because Nolan probably used the most muted colors out of any Batman movie for the time when it came out, before it got converted into a different aspect ratio. So because of that, it ends up highlighting the colors because, the screen part of the screen gets missing, so the color really doesn't have anything to go. The contrast doesn't have anything else to cover because a lot more of the screen is missing. So the only thing that can result downhill. So because the only thing it can do is just highlight the film and make it look like a Saturday morning shitty cartoon. Perfect. So, which also can take off the top and bottom, which should make the action scenes look less grand and spectacle. And the whole hindsight can make me just think this is a really boring, stupid looking movie. Because the colors, once they got converted, this turned me off of the film. I'm not gonna lie, it does. Because it's too bright and cartoony looking. But who knows, maybe if he ever gets around to releasing I hear he wants to release all of the trilogy in the aspect ratio. Maybe if he ever does get around to that eventually, or whenever he does, maybe I would bump some points up for this movie, or not. Personally, I think the outcome's going to be I'm not going to bump it up, even if it does get released in the original aspect ratio. But I can at least say it looks a lot better looking. In terms of camera shots, and also color not looking like a cartoon if they released the original aspect ratio in the first movie. The movie in the original aspect ratio for the movie of The Dark Knight, so yeah. But where The Dark Knight fails is not because it has a generic plot, forgettable, weak characters. Holy shit, this is Elektra. These are the same weaknesses to the Elektra movie from 2005 starring Jennifer Garner that most people don't know is the direct sequel to 2003 Daredevil movie. That was actually pretty decent, I thought. And the director's cut also was really good, also, I thought. For example, another thing I noticed this has come with 2005's Elektra is that the things that they don't explain through visuals, they explain through monologuing instead of showing the dude telling you, and it doesn't really last in the brain as long. It actually leaves the brain quite quickly when people do this. And the things it does show you, instead of explaining for monologue and that they shed highlights on, it's kind of pointless and not relevant to the plot of the movie or developing and forwarding these characters and make them grow. except for Gordon. Except for the stuff with Jim going, how he goes from lieutenant to commissioner, and gets from commissioner. I do like that. I just wish the other characters had like the advantages Gordon did with all the other characters in the movie, side and main characters. Although I guess it's too hard to do both, so maybe at least the main characters. But you know, too many things get overlooked in this movie, I feel like, you know? Like, overshadow, like, not really shown, and, okay, I'm going to talk about this. I really hate Heath Ledger's Joker. For a few reasons, I can't take him seriously out with that voice he does. It sounds like he's being probed up his ass. Or, you know, in other words, fucked up the ass. Getting his asshole fucked up. Which also sounds like he's getting a blowjob in a way. If you think hard about it, like when he's not licking his lips, it says when he's saying like stuff like, "Why so serious?" It sounds like he's getting a blowjob. I'm sorry, I don't want to listen to the Joker voice. I don't want to listen to that voice of the Joker. That sounds like he's having some sort of freaky thing in the bedroom. That's gross. I don't need to listen to that voice. Yes, I will admit that Bane's voice from The Dark Knight Rises was pretty silly, and he sounds like a pregnant Sean Connery in labor. But I'll take that over sex. Of the thought of Joker boning Joker like fucking someone. Like getting fucked in the asshole, him getting fucked in the asshole, or him getting a blowjob and discovering his first blowjob from God knows who. And I don't like this Joker's costume. He looks like a fucking hobo. Yeah, he has all the right color screens, I'll admit, for the makeup and clothes, I'll give them that, but for some reason, whenever I see his costume, I just want to say, dude, clean yourself up, you look like a homeless person. So basically, what my bot was. So basically, like whatever. Basically, he. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. He looks like to me. A homeless person that got fucked. All night long. That's what Heath Ledger's Joker reminds me of. Wow, I'm really intimidated. Look, and I fucking hate his laugh. He doesn't do anything different with laughs. He imitates all of the Jokers before him from cartoon and live action. And somehow tries to morph them all together. But he never, puts his own laugh in it, like Walking Phoenix did, or even Jared Leto did with his laugh. Which, I'm just going to say, I'll take Jared Leto's laugh from Suicide Squad any day over Heath Ledger's laugh from the Joker, because, I'm sorry, I'd rather listen to a bad Joker laugh than a fucking knockoff Joker laugh that sounds like he's just trying to imitate every Joker known to mankind that's popular. Cesar Romero, Heath Ledger is imitating Cesar Romero's Joker from the 60s era, from Adam West era. And also Jack Nicholson from the Keaton era. With the laugh. Yeah, he embodies both of those laughs. Whenever he laughs. And also, well, Mark Hamill from the cartoon series from the 90s, titled Batman the Animated Series, known by, even though it was just called Batman. For the first season, then got changed, and changed again until the last change was on last season. It got changed, the title being Charlie got changed every season. And that's the one with Kevin Conroy voiced Batman and Mark Hamill voiced the Joker, and he even sounds like he's imitating Mark Hamill. And I kid you not, he sounds like all these three Jokers that I just listed off when he laughs. And I fucking hate it. Now, I want to make something perfectly clear. I love all those three Jokers. But you have to do something new with the laugh. You know? If you can make a new original voice for Joker that sucks, surely you can make a new original laugh for him, or while paying tribute to the past. Oh, another thing, this Joker's not even funny. Or scary. You know, like Joker's supposed to be. I mean, he's more funny, he does the funny stuff better than the scary stuff. But I'm not sure that was his intention. Or the crazy intention to make him more funny than scary. And another problem I have with this movie is that Joker seemed actually cool on the trailer until I saw him in the actual final product with all the promotional material from all the trailers. And I just realized something once I saw it in theaters when this came out. They showed all the cool stuff that Joker was in the trailer. However, when you watch the content within the movie, all that cool stuff seems less cool and scary. In fact, more laughable and stupid and odd in the content of the movie it comes across. So yeah. And Christian Bale's back as Batman. I think his voice, he went through puberty for some reason. Because for some reason, instead of sounding like a hellspawn from a demon, instead of sounding like using the voice he had in the Batman Begins, he creates a completely different voice that's less subtle and more cringe and all around more stupid. You know, yeah, he sounds like a 500-pound beach whale that learned to talk. No, he sounds. No, I meant to say a 500-pound fat person that practically could be a beach whale and trying to run. And sounds fucking winded all the time for some reason. So yeah, that's what Batman's voice sounds like. Ooh, aren't you intimidated? I'm in top physical shape of my life. I'm Batman. Yeah, that's what he fucking sounds like. I'm not wearing hockey pants. I don't need your help. I'm not wearing a Hugger pants. He says that shit. I'm not wearing hockey pants, and I don't need your help. Well, he needs some help because his voice sucks. Now, in this movie, he needs to come up. He's helped to come up with a better disguised fake voice for Batman. Here's what he needs. Help us. So does Heath Ledger needs that help too. He needs help with coming he needs help with coming he needs help with more help than Christian Bale with his voice, coming up with a non-shitty voice of his of a Joker voice. Wait a minute, I just realized something. If he can intimidate all of the Joker lasses from the past, why doesn't he intimidate the Joker voice from all the Joker voices from the past when he's not doing a laugh? Actually, I would probably be more okay with that if he did both. Because there'd be consistency to it, and maybe he actually did all three Jokers voice outside of just doing the laugh from all three Jokers. Maybe I would actually enjoy his performance a bit. But I don't know. I got what I got, and he's 6 feet under the ground now, so.